have delivered an extremely important judgment this morning. They have overturned the decision of the appeal court and ruled that the government did act lawfully when it ruled that the third runway at Heathrow could be built. So this is a defeat for the environmental campaigners who back in February were celebrating what looked like a landmark judgment, overturning the approval effectively of the third runway at Heathrow. The Supreme Court have overturned the appeal court. They have endorsed the original decision in this legal process that began back in 2019, that the Divisional Court made a correct decision in ruling that the Secretary of State for Transport at the time, Chris Grayling, had actually acted lawfully in approving this third runway. The heart of this decision is whether the government was bound to take into account in its decision on Heathrow its commitments under the Paris Climate Accord, under which the UK has agreed, along with governments around the world, to try and keep temperatures below less than 2 degrees of pre-industrial targets. That was the original target. It then moved to 1.5 degrees higher, and that was the nub of this case. The appeal court ruled that Chris Grayling should have used 1.5 degrees as the benchmark, and on that basis the environmental and impact of a third runway would have meant it was impossible for the UK to remain within those targets. This court has now overturned that, so the third runway at Heathrow is back on. Now this, of course, has major implications for the locality around Heathrow. It has big implications for the future of infrastructure projects in the UK. That judgment back in February seemed to change the rules, and that every big infrastructure project, the likes of HS2, new power stations, would have to take Paris into account. They won't have to now. And of course the Prime Minister now has a decision to make. Boris Johnson said he'd lie in front of the bulldozers at Heathrow. He has to consider that again.